Welcome to Under Construction with Chadwicks, where it's all pure site talk. Yes, we like to tackle the issues that matter most to tradespeople on and off site. And today is no different. We like to have a bit of crack along the way. Today is a fascinating episode. We're going to be chatting about farming in Ireland and how it has changed over the last few years and decades even. Nobody better to take us through that than Sophie Bell and Fin Walsh. Sophie's from Cavan. She has over 100,000 followers online. And Fin Walsh is Limerick man who is most famous for bringing to TikTok his calf Pip. It's a fascinating conversation. Let's get it done. Sophie and Fin, ye are so welcome to Under Construction. Thanks so much for joining us. How are ye?
Good, yeah.
Finest.
Yeah, great. And I'm delighted you're in because we have a grip strength challenge. I know we've had the best of kind of sporting world, the trades world, comedians, everyone's been up there. But there's nothing like farmers when it comes to grip strength, lads. So I was hoping that you could bring this to another level. It's just a little test where you basically grip this as hard as you can do it. Just so you know, like, and if, Sophie, I know this will be important to you, being from Cavan. Billy McMahon is top of the list. We got to knock a dub off the top. And he's quite proud of it. I think this is up there with the All-Irelands for him. So it's just squeeze it as hard as you can. Whichever.
We'll give it a go.
Yeah. Go on, Fin, straight into it. Look at this. Oh, yes, he's well up for it. It's not your first rodeo, Fin. Oh, there we go. 57.9.
Jeez.
Very good. She's nearly ripped the arm off. There you go. Well done.
You're on the leaderboard.
Sophie, yeah, you're well on it.
Right.
Go on, Sophie, give it some. Yes.
That's nowhere close to Finn anyway.
All right, okay. Don't worry about Finn. What did we land there?
36.
Oh, 36 puts you well in there. It's very respectable.
On the board.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Guys, I'll come to you. Thanks so much for joining us. I suppose there always is a crossover between kind of farming and the trades because, Sophie, you need to have a bit of it all in your game, don't you?
Yeah, you do. I think you need to be a bit of everything. Like every day is very different and varied, and you need to solve most of your problems on the farm by yourself. You can't have anyone in to do it for you, really. So yeah, I think it is a very varied role all the time.
In terms of trades, people go off and do an apprenticeship, but when it's farming, you learn it. It's like a generation passes it on. But then having those other skill sets, how have you found that, Sophie, for having that, a toolbox that you can do everything?
Yeah, I mean, there's that phrase, jack of all trades, master of none, I guess. It is you learn so much from the generation before you, and you learn so much in college about certain skills, and it's great to have those under your belt.
Yeah.
I think it's something you definitely need on the farm because there's so many problems every single day, all the time.
Well, both of you have studied agriculture, and Finn, I'll come to you on that. You go off and study it. Does that empower you to go back to the farm and go, come here, we were doing that all wrong?
I'm finished now. I finished 2 years ago.
Okay.
I've just done, obviously Sophie's a lot more qualified than I am, but I just done the agricultural course out in Pallaskenry. And but you're learning kind of the more science side of farming, obviously your soil and stuff like that. You can learn all the kind of the tricks of farming in terms of your physical, what you're doing on the farm, but learning the actual science behind like soil and fertilizers and all that kind of stuff. I suppose it's kind of essential to use it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's getting harder now to farm. Like you need to be a lot more specific with what fertilizer you're putting out, how much you're putting out, how much you're allowed to put out. So I suppose college is kind of where it's going to teach you not to go too overboard with stuff like.
Did you find that, Sophie, that the kind of measurement side of it from college was quite helpful to kind of actually learn, that even about the soil? You nearly look at it differently.
I think so, yeah. It's like, if you just stayed on the farm and didn't go broaden your horizons, you'd just be following on from what was already told to you, and that could be right or it could be really wrong. So I think it's good to go to college and question what's being done on the farm and maybe you can develop your own opinion on things, and if there's things there that aren't being done right, you can change them and make the farm better.
Where did you study?
I went to Harper in the UK
Okay.
to study ag and animal science, and then went to UCD then after that.
Tell me about the experience over there. Kind of going away to learn, it can be fairly enlightening too, can it?
Yeah, I think it was really nice to go away from maybe the norm within Ireland and take some things that they were doing over there. Like, they're a lot more advanced in anaerobic digestion, for example. Like, they've been doing that for a lot more years than we have. And, you can just take little snippets that they're doing and that they're more experienced in, and you can bring it back home to your own farm and maybe implement them. Yeah.
Did you find that a bit, Finn, going away? Because it's nearly a rite of passage as well, that you're going away, but you're also going to bring back something.
Yeah, like thankfully with like the ag colleges, you have the opportunity to go off to New Zealand. You have other places that like to go to America, Canada, and a few other places. I went off to New Zealand for 4 months back in 2023.
Okay.
Now it is chalk and cheese to Ireland, but Ireland is kind of trying to transition to that style of farming.
Okay.
So I suppose seeing it firsthand, what it's like over there, but it's all very different.
Can you explain what the difference is?
It's like in Ireland, every farm is a family unit, family-run unit nearly. Like, everyone has like the farmer, and there's like their families all around it. Like, and over there, it's a business. It's 100% a business. Like, the one that I was working on was owned by a fund, and they have a manager. So like we were at the bottom, and then you have a yard manager, a farm manager, then you have a management company, and then you have the fund. So there's a lot of steps before you're at the top of who actually owns the farm.
Okay.
So like, it's all like, even feeding cattle, like, is all down to like the gram.
Wow.
Over there. Whereas here, it's just an extra kilo here, an extra kilo there. We don't need that much. Like, it's all, everyone that's in the farm that's the whole running side of a farm is within the gates. Yeah. Whereas over there, it's very much like it's like a corporation more than a farm.
Industry, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Whereas here, it's very much a family unit. But New Zealand is a completely different climate at times. Like, it's like, I was down in the South Island, and it was just like, they were like, oh, this is similar to Ireland. No, it's not. Yeah. It is way different. Yeah. Like, we were getting cooked over there. And like, there's soil that's only an inch deep, and you're just kind of going, you're farming, like, they're farming a desert with just a bit of soil and a bit of grass, and you're irrigating everything, and it's completely different. So like, seeing it firsthand, I suppose you can kind of see that maybe we shouldn't be too focused on going that way.
Just on that though, did it give you a mindset to kind of change as well, that you can do that? Yeah,
like, it's like where I work off farm, and we've a farm at home as well.
Yeah.
And both of them are complete opposite to kind of what's being pushed in terms of what people are hoping the Irish dairy industry is going to, in terms of a smaller cow, less milk, more solid, stuff like that. And then where I work is kind of big cows, a lot of milk.
Yeah.
And they're doing high input, high output system, whereas kind of what everyone kind of wants us to come to is low input, low output kind of thing. Like, kind of, I suppose it works for some people, but there's a lot of people, I say, that do feed, and I don't think they should be told that it's not a good business if they are, because they are making money, obviously.
Of course, yeah. Sophie, do you find that a little bit, that with knowledge as well, you see other places, and you can get a little bit worried that what we have is quite good in ways too, and that we need to look after it?
Yeah, I think so. Like, when you spent a good bit of time out in other farms, like in Poland and the Netherlands, and I think their problems are huge. Like, they have no water, for example, in Poland, and we are so blessed in Ireland.
I know, but we do bitch and moan about it, but like, we are blessed.
Yeah, no, it is. We should be really proud of what we have, and I think we should just build on that, really. Yeah. But it's good to go out and see the world and get your perspectives on things. Like, it can be pros and cons to both, I suppose.
Of course. It's amazing you say it, that we should be proud, but I actually don't think there's greater industry that doesn't reflect how proud it should be of itself than our kind of, maybe our dairies and our farming industry when it comes to it. Like, when you taste our products compared to everyone else and you see what we do, We're at the top of the game, really, aren't we?
We're sending PR packages out to America of butter, you know, it's crazy how much of a luxury item it is to people in other countries. Yeah.
And we can take it for granted because we're just always used to it being great, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
There's a high bar here.
There is a very high bar.
Fin, for you, I suppose there's an awful lot of change in farming as well. It's generational stuff. But what have you found has been a key difference in your time from taking it on to maybe something that was done in the family before?
Yeah, so my father's still at home and my younger brother works with him at home. Now he is what you call stubborn.
Okay. You didn't even need to say it. He's an Irish dad.
Oh, he don't need no introduction. But he'd watch this now and he'd give out to me. But
of course, that's all right.
I'd be dead honest with you now. Trying to get anything new into the farm is impossible. Like, the man is breeding some of the best cows in the country.
Wow.
Like, he has one of the, like, EBI is the economic bovine index.
Yeah.
And that's your bread and butter. Like, that's where you want
scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has some of the highest scoring cows in the country, top 10%, I think he's in the top 6% in the country.
Amazing.
And I'm just kind of going, but you could do better. Like, he could do it, like, because there's obviously so much science into farming now.
Yeah.
So you've your sexed semen and stuff like that, which you can get your heifers out of the cows you want. And I go, why don't we do that? I said, you'll be able to get your best cows, get your heifers out of your best cows.
Yeah.
No, I know I'm doing this now. I said, no, the cow won't go on calf, And I'm like, the cows are all bred to fertility. I said, if they're not going to calf, I said, no, like, they're bred to be the most fertile cows you can get. And I'm just there, come on, we give it a go.
Yeah. And
I asked him to give it a go for the last 5 or 6 years, and he will not. And then outside there where I worked in is complete opposite. It's all sexed and in beef calves.
Okay.
So it's like, my father is like, he's a great business. He's farming away. He's managed away himself. And I suppose that's the thing with farmers. Like, it's like, if it works, I'm staying with it.
Of course, yeah.
And going any bit of a different path, no, calm down. Come back. So, like, when you're seeing then, like, obviously going away from home then, I'm working outside there 4 years. And even in that time, like, it is the amount of technology that's come in.
Wow, okay.
Like, they have, like, their parlour is very advanced, but, like, now there's, like, GPS running on the farm, and all the cows, like, there's just shy of 300 cows running on the farm, and all of them have a little bolus that's inside them, sitting in their stomach, and that tracks everything.
Wow.
So it tracks their temperatures, their digestion, and everything else that goes along with it, that you can give you notifications.
Wow.
So we get a notification on the phone that'll tell you if a cow is in heat, if a cow is about to calf, if a cow has mastitis, if a cow has any kind of an illness, it'll tell us.
Wow.
So, like, we're able to, like, it's like an extra person. It's like having someone sitting inside in the shade looking at the cows at all times.
Yeah.
And, like, that's the kind of level of technology that's coming into farming, like. So it's compared to, I suppose, my father's time where they're out stooking bales, and
of course,
like, we used to be drawing silage with 3 tractors and it would take a week. You can now get all your silage in a couple hours. Like, it's gone unreal, like.
It's amazingly safe, and because I think sports has evolved in that way too, that when we started using different types of technology like the GPS, that first generation kind of nearly see it as a barrier, something to be fearful of. When you actually do embrace it, it can be so empowering and helpful. Have you found that to be the case, Sophie?
Yeah, like, we're a small farm, so, you know, you kind of typically think, we can't have any technology, you know, we're only small farmers, you know. But we've had a few things implemented in the past few years. Like, we have GPS, we have stuff to measure the grass, and we have a kit to measure how many worms we have in the cattle, and a similar thing for detecting heat.
Okay.
And, you know, we're all working off farm during the day too, so it's so much easier to know what's happening. And whenever you come home from a day's work, you can just get straight to it. Like, do they need to be wormed? We'll know from the kit. And I think it's been a great help, and it's good to have a family that are keen to embrace it as well.
Of course, that must be that mindset shift, like you're chatting about your dad there, but he's no different to any of them. Of us as well, people don't like change.
Oh yeah, my father, like, I tried to get him, I was lucky enough to get sent out a GPS system for the home farm, and I said, game changer.
Here we go.
GPS. I said, look at this now.
He's trying to tune it into the TV.
He lost the screen after a week. And I'm there like, where's the screen, Mike? And he's like, don't know now.
It's in the field somewhere.
I asked the brother, I goes, where's the screen? He goes, he had it.
There you go, he's watching The Sopranos on it.
Found it about 6 weeks later inside in the shade, covered in dust. And I was like, why'd you put it in there? He goes, I don't want people robbing it. And I goes, well, you couldn't find it afterwards. Like I said, as good as robbed. I said, when you couldn't find it. He's just, I suppose that kind of, it's all new. Like it's all, like it's very much the next generation then is coming in. And like I heard someone say before, like the new generation of farmers are nearly working harder because you have all this technology. Like obviously you have great lights on tractors, you have great lights in sheds, you have parlours that'll go non-stop. Like if a young fella was turned around and said, I'm going to go plough in a field or something like that, he can go out into the field and he's so lit up.
Yeah.
It's like daytime.
Yeah.
So he can just stay ploughing all night and he could just do hours upon hours and hours of work. Whereas sure, before, once it went dark,
that was it.
You can't
Game
see.
over. Yeah.
Like it was, like someone said before, it was more enjoyable to farm. But like obviously it still is enjoyable, it's a great job. But like you've kind of the older generation were able to go out, have a bit of crack, and everyone was doing it together.
Yeah.
Rather than kind of you just have to get bigger machinery and stuff like that because you're on your own now.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's not many people that are going to call into their neighbour and help them bring in the hay or bring in the silage and stuff like that. And it was a bit more of a community.
Yeah. Like it used to be a day out. Like
exactly. Yeah. Like now it's just, I'll get in the contractor, he'll do it and he'll go away again. And then we're stuck in trying to cover the pit ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we're lucky enough now, friends of mine, we go around to everyone's farm and we cover the pits like after silage.
Of course.
And we might have a few slabs of cider afterwards and we'll sit around talking for a few hours. And like that's kind of what we do every summer. But like that used to be it. All sorts, like people going to the bog, people going doing hay, all that kind of stuff. And that's all kind of gone now with the improvement in technology. So I suppose we lost some stuff, we gained others.
Yeah. Sorry, if you don't mind, please excuse my ignorance. Can we go back to just the start, your farms themselves, without being nosy? Like, because I know there's parts of it. Sophie, but you're in Cavan, and what type of a farm is it?
Well, it used to be a beef farm.
Okay.
Back in the day, but it's like the acreage just isn't enough for it to be suitable for that.
So you've had to shift.
Yes, yeah. After college, whenever I came home, I decided to go down and kind of take the commodity pricing element out of it, just to save relying on things out of my control.
Yeah.
So we're rearing heifers now for another farmer. So they basically pay us for a B&B basically.
Okay.
So it works well. And we're now able to invest a lot better back into the farm, and there's more infrastructure and planning for the future too. So yeah.
And is that for right now, or do you see yourself evolving again? Or you know what I mean? Is there a planning goes into it in terms of this is the right phase for now, but if we want to grow again, we need to do this?
Yeah, it's hard to tell what the dairy industry is going to do. And that's what we're relying on at the moment, because farmers at the moment don't have enough labour, and also the nitrates element as well. They want to kind of give us their heifers just to alleviate that. Okay. So for now, it does suit. But I think in the future it could change. Like there may be a reduction in cow numbers, who knows? And we will need to plan for that to happen, kind of to just anticipate. Yeah. But I think there is a good few routes as well to go down. So we won't be stuck, but it's good to keep in mind.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And Finn, for you, your farm?
Yeah, we're farming in Limerick.
Go on, Limerick.
Dairy farm, yeah. No, not this year, no, but maybe next year. We're dairy farming. We would be on the smaller side. Now, not tiny by any means. Like we're farming about 90 cows, which is, it's baffling that that's now considered kind of on the smaller side. Oh, okay. Whereas before that would have been a massive farm.
Yeah.
But the 90 cows were kind of more big size cows and trying to get as much litres out of them. We're farming a long time, but it could kind of get challenging where we are. We're very close to the city, very close to motorways and stuff like that. Our big worry is that development and stuff like that. Like we're farming 120 years on that land. So it's a lot of history tied into it. Like, and
of course, yeah.
As I said to my father, I said, if it's going to end, it can't be ending with legislation or someone signing a piece of paper and taking it away or something like that.
How many generations?
I thought I was in the paper there recently. I thought it was the 5th generation. We'd be the 4th generation. So myself and the brothers, we're 4th generation. Father's 3rd generation.
Wow.
So we're going a long time.
Yeah, that's more than a farm. Like that.
It is, yeah. There's
family history.
We're embedded into it, like.
Yeah.
So we've been, I suppose, my father, as much as he is stubborn, like his mother, I suppose it's in him as well, because his mother was just as stubborn as him. But they farmed together for a long time. My father's farming 40 years now at this stage.
Yeah.
And when he started, it was the old style farming where there was cows, ducks, chickens, pigs, sheep, everything.
Yeah.
Inside the gates. Like you couldn't walk and there'd be feathers blowing all over the place, just stuff all over the place. And I suppose you could still see it in the yard. You can see where everything was kept and what the different sheds were. Father came in, he said, we're getting rid of all this. He said, like, there was pigs below and they roared and there was sheep above to be sheared.
Yeah.
And you've all these other jobs, like, and he's on his own at this stage. Like, it was grand when they were children and there's 9 of them inside in the house.
Yeah.
You could send 4 kids off to milk cows and send 3 kids off to shear sheep, bring a few more to the market. But now it's like, I'm on my own. I said, I can't do all this work. So he got into the cows then. We started with about 45 and grew from there. So now we're up to 90 cows. And he could have gone more, but he didn't want to overburden the ground. Like, he's always just been like, have enough now. We're fine. Okay. And the man is kind of, as we call him, he's retirement farming. He doesn't milk cows anymore.
But that's an interesting part as well. There is that kind of Irish culture of, you know what I mean? There's leave something for the next person.
Yeah.
Which is quite important to have as well. Do you find that a bit, Sophie, that kind of, like you were mentioning there, helping each other out, that community aspect of farming, is that still something as strong as it used to be, or something that needs protecting?
I think it is, definitely. However, I think succession would be a big issue, I suppose, at the moment for young farmers. Like, it's quite a heavy topic, but I do think we take the farm on and we do as best we can with it, and then we leave it to the next generation to do the same. And I think that's a huge thing. Like, you know, it's not something everyone can do in their job. No.
But it also, whereas you're passing on an awful lot of pressure as well, aren't you?
Yeah, huge pressure. I think going back to maybe the generation before me, you could nearly sustain a whole family on the farm. But now, when you're taking it on, you're nearly taking on a full-time job off farm as a young farmer, as well as facing lots of legislation issues and various things like that. So I think probably physically it's a lot easier for us, but mentally maybe it's a lot more of a burden these days.
Yeah. I can understand that. You need to have that grow though, don't you? You need to have that passion.
Really
You've always had that love for animals.
Yeah, it was always there from a young age. And I think that's really what motivates you and keeps you going. Like, if it wasn't for that, it would be very hard to get out of the bed, at all hours of the morning.
Exactly. Yeah, I suppose they always say do something you love and you'll never work a day. But in ways, it can be difficult, as you're saying there, that element of burnout, Finn, you know?
Yeah, like there is an awful lot of it. Like, in farming, there's an awful amount of it in it, especially now. Like, when the quotas went years back, there was, I'd say, an awful lot of pressure went on farmers. Because in fairness, like, we were promoted to build our farms. The quotas are gone now, produce, and they were told, build up the herd. And then it's just like you're lumping pressure onto yourself.
Okay.
And then I suppose a lot of farmers didn't put all this pressure on themselves, but never actually had the conversation. Who's taking this on?
Yeah, okay.
Like, as in, like, there's a lot of farmers around the country now that have a massive farm. They have great facilities. They have the best of equipment and all this, but they've no succession.
Yeah.
There's no daughter, no son, no one to take it on.
Wow.
They're just like, they'll have to hand it to someone, but like, all of them should have some kind of a plan.
Okay.
Like, I know now, like, it's like, okay, it's getting handed down to them, but if you want the farm to stay in the family, they should just turn around and say, we're going to hand it down to you, but we're going to lease it to such and such, or we're going to put an agreement in it that this person is going to get it, or something that, rather than it just being handed down and sold. I think, and that's why it's so hard for people to talk about it, is if they don't want it now and then I give it to them, they're just going to sell it.
Okay.
And then all my family's history then is gone.
Yeah.
Because I suppose there's a lot more mixed into it than you have to have the passion of it. Like, you have to have the want to carry on the heritage or the tradition of it. because it's like, it is a massive thing to be handed a farm.
Of course.
Like, you take care of this now for your lifetime and pass it on to the next. And that's the whole point of a farm, is just you take care of this land until you're ready to move on and pass it on to the next generation who will look after it for their lifetime.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's like farmers are so terrified now to hand it on and have that whole legacy, I suppose, just end with the next generation.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like,
you mentioned that there, though, the game has moved as well.
Yeah.
Before, it was just about maybe producing the products to sustain people, whereas now, when you've mentioned what goes on in the likes of New Zealand, and it's all a competitive market, isn't it? That, like, Sophie, you mentioned that there, I never even thought about it. Is that an awkward conversation within families? Is there a way to address succession that people mightn't be aware of? This something you actually probably study even in college? How do you take that topic on?
Yeah, we did a lot on it in college, kind of dealing with those uncomfortable situations. Thankfully for my farm, it's already happened, and I think the only reason that happened so easily was because it was such an open and honest conversation from the start. Like, it was quite clear that, like, I have an older brother, so, you know, traditionally he should have got it.
Okay.
But he had no interest, so there was no point in doing that. That really took all that big emotion out of it, because, you know, it can be a huge issue. Like, previously, you know, family members can cut their ties because it was such a surprise to them. And, you know, I think you just need to be open and honest from the start and not hold back on anything from either side.
Great.
Yeah.
But it's your point, Finn, as well. When you know that as well, and there is a succession plan, you can go back and go, look, I'm trying to sustain this for the point we're driving it on, and we need to evolve.
Like, there isn't, like, the amount of stories you'd hear, like, of kind of older people holding on.
Yeah.
And I suppose, like, they could have, like, there's a person just over the road from us, and I think their mother was in her 90s, still owned the farm, and she'd passed away, and her adult children, there was 2 boys there, and they were in their 60s.
Yeah, okay.
And they're selling cattle still in her name.
Yeah.
And she's no longer with us.
Yeah.
And you're kind of going, like, there's a conversation that should have been had.
Of course.
Good for you. Like, that should have been had 40 years ago.
Yeah.
To give them boys some, and they're just staying there. They never married. Because all they were doing was just working at home. Just, I suppose, trying to prove themselves. And now, then, thereafter, their whole life is gone.
Wow.
Away of trying to just carry on the legacy. Like.
Exactly, yeah.
So it is massive. Like, it's a massive conversation to have. Like, obviously, it's not easy to have.
Of course.
Like, we, at home, like, my father has 3 sons and a daughter that wants nothing to do with the place.
Okay.
Like, she's playing soccer fairly competitively now, and she's just like, no, I'm moving away. And she's like, I'll go to America. I'm like, no problem, you go to America. She can't understand or comprehend us wanting to stay at home.
Yeah.
She's like, will you leave? And I don't want to leave. It's just like, I'd be having arguments with her. She goes, I'm leaving this place. And I go, you do you. I said, I'm going to stay here. So, like, it's a complete, like, it's all mindset.
Of course.
So he's 3 sons. I've finished my studying in agriculture. My younger brother was below in Tralee studying agricultural science. And my older brother's an ag engineer.
Yeah.
So he's 3 sons, 3 farmers. And he's kind of going, what am I going to do here? Like,
yeah, of
because
course.
he doesn't want to just, because obviously the oldest is an engineer. He's a machinery man. And then the youngest is in agriculture, and I'm in agriculture. The youngest works for my father, and I work on a farm.
Okay.
So the man is just looking, standing there going, what? And what do I do here? Like, like, there's nothing easy about the conversation. Like, we've had kind of small conversations, like, but the man, it's like, he's just kind of just started retiring.
Okay.
But never had the conversation.
But Finn, is it up to you there a bit like Sophie to, you know, the reverse, to have the conversation with him?
Oh, yeah. Well, we've all pulled him, like, sure, we've all said, but like, geez, we want to knock them into a shed or something like that and go and have a chat with him. You can't catch him, like, he's just, yeah. He sit down and have a cup of coffee, and then if you start talking to him, coffee drank, and he's gone out the door again.
Okay,
like, it's difficult for him, like, but then there's other people, I suppose, have it way worse than him.
Yeah.
Like, people that have no one to have the conversation with at all.
Well,
that's where it's even worse. Like, that's where it's a massive, it's a scary time.
Yeah. What for you do you feel is the biggest change in that generation compared to yours? Is it the advance in technology? Is it the being able to have those kind of conversations, the kind of maturity growth to stuff like that. What's the biggest change in the generational divide?
I think less hardship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Really a big one. Like I can see photos from years ago before me, like you'd be up to your knees in mud and everything, and you'd be cleaning out byres with the grape, and there's none of that now.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, and not only just on you mentally, but your body.
Yeah.
Just like feeling empty and needing. Like I'm used to rugby lads with hip and knee replacements, where it's just used to graft. And what for you, Finn, do you feel?
Yeah, well, I suppose it's probably all the kind of legislation and how that's changed.
Okay.
Like there's an awful lot more boxes to tick. Now, in fairness, we're producing food, it needs to be of the highest quality and it all needs to be above board.
Yeah.
But then you look back in my father's day, and he's, I suppose, the generation before him, and they're making cows by hand, putting it into a churn, trying to churn up onto a horse and cart and bring it to a creamery.
Yeah.
Like, and now it's like big lorry comes in, takes away the milk and all this. But like, I suppose when you're not meeting people as much anymore because of this, like everything is kind of on farm. Everything comes to you, like your nuts get delivered, like you can go and get medicines, but there's all these reps and everything calling in.
Yeah. And
they're delivering off stuff that you need and stuff. Whereas before, you have to go, if you're selling your produce, you're going to the market. Yeah. You're going down and I suppose as well, it's communication with our customers as well. Like obviously I've said it many times before, like being on social media is a massive thing, I think, for farmers at the moment, because no one knows where their food comes from.
Yeah.
So like you're going into a supermarket, we get a steak there, and it's just a piece of meat and a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like you're going to the butcher, you're getting your food, and all that, you know where it came from.
Yeah.
So I think farmers being on social media is probably a massive step for us to kind of show people this is what goes into your food, lads. It's all good. They're happy enough.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought it up, because you've also studied on that side of it, and two of you are setting a blaze in it, in terms of realising that social media side of it is important. Sophie, for you, just how important is it? Do you think it's something that everyone should be looking like within your studies, that you need to add that string to your bow? You need to be on the kind of social media platforms to maybe, one, get the message out like Finn is saying, but two, also kind of corner your niche of the market.
I think so, especially if you're going down a business kind of route with the farm. It's great to have that kind of skill under your belt. But for example, with things like Clarkson's Farm, it's found a way to bridge the gap between consumers and farmers in a lighthearted, funny way, and it can actually grasp their attention, because it's so hard to do that, I think.
You've gone off and studied, though. You did a digital marketing degree. Do you see that as the next kind of string to the bow, the area that you have to be, as skilled at?
I think so, yeah. However, our generation and anyone younger than me we grew up with technology, and babies nearly know how to use an iPad.
Yeah, swiping the screen.
It's ingrained in us, I think. So I do think having those degrees and going down that route is very important. But I think our own generation is very much knowledgeable in it, and we know how to use it.
Yeah.
Just by growing up with it. Yeah.
It's a tool, Finn, isn't it? Like you started in lockdown with TikToks, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about that.
So like I didn't have TikTok, never downloaded it, didn't understand it. And then there's only friends of mine that I used to work with, because I couldn't get a job on a farm during lockdown. And sure, everyone was home. So my younger brother was working at home because he was off school. Sister was kind of dragged onto the farm because she was off school. And the older brother had a job. So I was like, I need to get a job. And no farmer would take me on them because all their children were home. So they were back in the old days, and they could just have their children out slaving all day. And they didn't need to pay anyone. So I was okay, I can't get work. So there's a friend of mine who was working inside in Dunn Stores inside, and he goes, there's a night shift. I said, I'll take it. I said, I need anything. Because I said, I just don't like not having work. And I went away, didn't done that. There's friends of mine from that, they just said, like, be sending in videos from and Snapchat and all this. she put that on TikTok. I goes, what is it?
Yeah,
and
okay.
I'm like, oh, that's how it works. Like, that's how it all started that way then, and then had a calf premature, grew from there.
Tell us about the calf, Pip.
Yeah, Pip. So she was born, was it 3 weeks premature, but she was a twin. So like her twin was full sized, and it was like the twin took everything that the cow was eating, and Pip got nothing.
Yeah, okay.
She was just a frame with a bit of skin. That was all she was. Oh. And then like we were growing her up then, and she was getting, I suppose, an extra bit of care, because she was tiny. And then I suppose everyone then kind of started latching onto her. And I'm sure like I was at home most of the time, and I was only working 8 hours a day. So I was at home.
I love the way you see that as working life. Yeah. Oh, I was only doing the 8 hours.
So I had too much time on my hands. So I was just like, I was outside with this calf taking videos and all this, and then people just loved it, and it took off. And from there, then I kind of grew. But because it was about a calf, like there was another fella, Kerry Cowboy is another man.
Yeah.
And the two of us kind of grew at the same time. But he was in the American market, I was in the Irish market. And he got no grief, I got all the grief.
As always.
As always. And like we were only talking about it recently, like he goes, I had a great start. And I goes, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like it was fine for probably the first like 10,000 followers. After that it was torture. It was just every day there was just comments going in.
Of course.
And then there was people arguing with the comments, and the comments were arguing with them and all this. Like eventually I turned off notifications 4 years ago on TikTok and never turned it back on.
Yeah.
Because the phone was ringing. Like just the thing was just bouncing off the thing. Like I was just like, will you stop?
Yeah.
Just calm down. So like that was the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
And then I suppose from there then I started kind of promoting Irish agriculture, and I kind of get into that side of it. So like it kind of gave me a bit of a boost into that. And then ever since then I've kind of changed what I'm doing, but overall it's kind of been mainly just talking about farming and putting farming kind of out there forefront. Yeah. And just kind of because like we have a great product, but just I suppose people are just against us because like there is some people that are just like, you're a farmer, you're a bad person.
Okay.
Like they've no other reason, just you're a farmer. That's it.
Yeah, but I think, honestly, I've that as a rugby player. There's, people will always have opinions on different things. It's just to realise.
It's the way it is at times.
Yeah, of course. I think the majority of us would see the incredible work that's done and the brilliant effort you do to produce some of the greatest products in the world. We were incredibly proud of it.
Yeah.
How's Pip?
She was sold. that caused more grief. That caused more grief than anything. She was sold that autumn.
There's the real farmer.
I'm sure that was back before my father understood what I was doing. And I said to him, I goes, can we hold on to her? And he goes, no, she's gone. And I goes, come on. I said, you'll give me some of the grief now if you sell her. And he goes, and I was there, I was at work, and I get a text anyway, and there's the brother anyway, and he putting her up onto the trailer. And I go, what? Wow. I came home then, I goes, how much she make?
Yeah.
And he made the most of all of them. And I goes, can I get a few bob off that? He goes, no.
No chance.
Straight into his pocket. And then ever since then, like obviously the girl that bought her, actually, I think she was only like 13.
Wow.
And she knew she was being sold because I put it up. I said, she's being sold. And the grief was unreal. And next thing she found out, she texted me, she goes, where is she being sold? I go, she's going to Kilmallock. And she goes, okay. Herself and her father went over, bought the calf, brought her home, and I actually last year I met her brother, and he was scuttered at a festival out in Castletown, and I was talking to him.
This is the most Irish conversation of all time.
He was like, I was like, well, how are you? My calf. Yeah, he came up to me, he said, I have your calf at home. And I goes, which one? He goes, Pip, the famous one. And I goes, do you? And he goes, yeah. He said, she's on her third calf now. He said, she's flying it. And he said, but the only thing is, I cannot get her into the milking parlour. I was, why can't she? He said, she'll go out there and she'd puck you and hit off you, but she will not go into the milking parlour.
Complete diva.
Oh, and he goes,
she's there with a ring light.
He goes, will you buy her back? I goes, how much do you want for her? He goes, there's a premium on this one now. And I goes, go away now. I said, how much do you want for her? And he goes, sure, 1,800. I goes, go away. I said, leave me alone now. I said, if you want to give me a reasonable price for her, I'll buy her off you. I said, but other than that, no, you can keep her.
Yeah. But Sophie, you mentioned it there, and it's interesting. We're chatting about the kind of fun side of it, but it is a way to kind of show how great we are in what we do. Like you mentioned Clarkson's farm there. Like for someone that wouldn't know that industry, to see all the work and the graft that he put in, and then at the end of the first season, he says how much he made from it. It was the greatest eye-opener for me that, You know what I mean? That industry is so difficult. All this work, and it can be so hard. And it's good to educate everyone else that doesn't know it.
Yeah, I think it was a real eye opener. Like the ending for that first series was, shocking, I'd say, for consumers. But yeah, it kind of pursues that argument, like, oh, we're going around in all this big machinery, and we must be making loads of money, but I think we're very rich in terms of our assets, but when it comes down to the actual wages, there's nothing really to see there. It's I think it's the passion, and that really drives us all on. Yeah.
Fin mentioned it there, though. It's the kind of nearly standing up and using it to kind of stick the chest out and say, this is exactly what we do. Do you use it to that side of it, or is it, or is there a balance on it, having the fun as well, of course?
Yeah, I think my page, it's all very light-hearted stuff. Like the day job can be quite heavy in terms of the bad side of farming. So I think whenever I want to come home and do anything on social media, I want to have a nice time, and I don't want to face into any arguments with people. So yeah, I always keep it nice and lighthearted, and it's kind of the soft element of farming that I always showcase. And I think that does draw in people who have an interest, because sometimes when you get too technical, it can just all go over your head a bit.
Yeah, but that shows it's real, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that it's, you know what I mean? You're not trying to be something on it. You're just actually showing your world.
Yeah, I'm just doing it as I go along, really.
Yeah.
There isn't really a 5-year plan there.
Yeah. What about for you, Fin? Like, obviously, Pip went out the door and you going, geez, there's my greatest asset.
That took a while now to adjust. I took a break for about 3 months afterwards, because I was like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, where's the next angle?
Of all these followers, and the only thing that was holding on to was gone out the gate. And,
parading your dad around.
Exactly, yeah. But then I transitioned into kind of more defending farming and stuff like that. Like, I went heavy on that, because I suppose, like, Clarkson's farm, obviously, like as you were saying, brought a massive appetite for people to know what's going on on farm. So, like, the likes of us, like, people I think we started gaining kind of followers because of it.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of seeing, farming and stuff like that. Like, is that anyone, like, But, like, people also do need to know that. Because, like, if you look over in the UK at the moment, they had the inheritance bill that came in. And farmers it's going to affect farmers massively. And, like, you're just kind of, if you look at any video that's about it and look at the comments, the amount of people that are so kind of unaware of what farming is. Like, obviously we do have, like, as someone said to me before, said we're standing in a field worth millions, but we have an arse in our trousers. Yeah. Like, that is basically what farming is. Like, you have nothing, but you're standing on a lot. Yeah. But you can't do anything without what you're standing on. It's like, we can't farm without the land, and the land is worth nothing unless we sell it. Yeah. So, like, people don't understand that. They think, they're all millionaires. Yeah. Like, we're not millionaires. Like, obviously our land is worth a lot, and it's worth a lot because it's been inflated with a lot of other stuff going on.
Of course, yeah.
So it is worth a lot of money, but for reasons that we can't control. Like, all we want it for is to grow crops, graze livestock. That's it.
Yeah, sustain.
So I suppose it's kind of showing people that it's like, here's what farming is. I said, it's not all, we're not driving around Land Rovers, we're not full of money. It's mostly muck and rain and misery. And it's not that fun at times. It's not.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing, but you're just telling the truth.
Yeah, so. We're not going on ski trips. Like, this is, we're here every day. So I think, like, people that are, I suppose, out of the countryside, that are living in cities, and they're kind of going, them lads outside, and they've loads of money, they're all landowners and all this. It's like, yeah, we own land. Yeah. They said, you're more than welcome to come out and do a week with us. And we'll turn around and we'll show you how much we make. Yeah. And you'll see what we make, and you'll see how much it costs. Because it costs an awful lot of money to produce a litre of milk. Yeah. Because you're feeding, you've vet bills, you've fertiliser bills, you've electricity costs, you've so many costs going into it for a product that we can't control the sale price of. Yeah. We can't control anything. Wow. Like, what we're buying is dictated to us, what price we're paying. What we're selling is dictated to us, what we sell it for.
Wow.
There is nothing at all about farming that we get any control of.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Like we have no say in what comes in and what goes out. It's all down to the prices are at the time.
In a way, that's why social media is quite important.
Yeah.
Because you're right. I didn't know that. And look, I don't come from that world. Apologies, I'm ignorant to it. But when you say stuff like that, you know what I mean? If I don't hear your voice, then you're right. You can't dictate it. But if you make enough noise that everyone else is...
Like it's like, as everyone says, like we buy everything for cost price and we sell everything at, say, a wholesale price.
Yeah.
Like we don't... Like you can't turn around and be like, here, I have 1,000 litres of milk there. I'll give it to you for X amount. You can't haggle with the creamery. The creamery's come and taking your milk regardless because they actually own the milk in the tank because that's what the contract is like. That's how you get paid for what you produce. But when the milk comes out of the cow, it's owned by the creamery already. Yeah. So they take it away and they give you the price. Yeah. That's it.
Do you see it kind of going towards that more kind of New Zealand model, Sophie, or would you like that we maintain what we have while still progressing forward? Or is it inevitable?
I think the New Zealand model, I hope it doesn't go that far because it's very intensive, I think, and it takes away from the whole element of Irish farming. And, you know, there's various things at play there, such as the welfare of calves, especially the bull calves and everything. So I really hope it continues to be a family farm dynamic. But I think certain legislation and various things like that isn't within our control is kind of pushing it towards that area. So, I think we need to just fight for what we want rather than just settle for it. Yeah, I think that's the way forward, really.
Agreed. Yeah,
I think it's important to shout about it.
It is, 100%, especially when, it's as great as it is. You know what I mean? I don't think we're bad in Ireland for appreciating stuff that we're good at. Sometimes we find it difficult to say, we lead the way in that. And we certainly, in your industry, we lead the way.
Yeah.
I know we're tight in time. I might push you just for a few kind of quick answers on just from my ignorant side. What's the hardest part about farming today, Finn?
I go with calving season.
Yeah. Sophie, for you?
Legislation.
Okay. What motivates you? What's the drive?
They're still going to be roaring the following morning. You need to get up. Like there's no... I can't roll over in the bed and kind of go, I'm not making the cows this morning. I have to get up. There's no such thing as just...
I'd love a t-shirt with cows balling.
Yeah, just plain and simple. The only reason I get up on the morning.
For you?
I think taking the farm from what it was and then seeing the end result when you're older, I think is huge.
Do you feel you have a balance on it in your life and work? Like it's mad you're there, I'm only working 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? Like in any other industry, people are going, oh.
Overtime.
Yeah. But do you feel you've that balance, or is that to come, or you're in the busy part of it where you're trying to transition it a bit?
I don't have balance. I love to say I have balance, but I don't. Herself has to ask me she used to give me about 6 weeks notice to get me off for a day. So like it's I don't have balance. Like it's just I love working.
Yeah.
I like working as well, but the social life is definitely not there at the moment. But I think it's getting there, and I don't procrastinate as much as I used to. So yeah, I think the balance is getting there, but certainly not in terms of social life, no.
Yeah. Do you worry about that in terms of the kind of the community side of it as well, going away? Like you mentioned there, that you used to sit down together after grafting and working, and that's where you build those relationships, isn't it?
Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah, like we used to be like, last 2 years, my group of friends is probably 15 or 20 of us. They'll be all young farmers around my area, like, which is massive. And we used to just go to a pub with Thirsty Thursday, we used to call it. And we'd inside in our local pub. And that would be where we'd meet up, have a chat, and go our separate ways. And then we'd meet again the following week. And it was unwritten rule that you're in there every Thursday, regardless, unless you have an excuse. If you don't have an excuse, you're going to get abuse. So like now it's, I suppose, a lot of us have girlfriends and we've other things. So like our balance has to kind of go elsewhere as well. We do see each other, but it might be every fortnight.
Yeah. Do you feel, Sophie, starting social media has given a greater future towards your industry? Not, you know what I mean, in general, but just you personally?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a great network of putting yourself out there. And I think you really need to do that, especially in agriculture and in Ireland. I think it's been great to kind of grasp those opportunities and probably for the future career as well. So yeah, I am very grateful for it. Yeah.
Where can people follow you? Can they get handles, tags? I'm not cool with the kids, so I don't know what they're called.
I'm on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. So my TikTok and Instagram is Fin_Walsh99 and in YouTube is Fin's Farm Life.
Okay, yeah. Without Pip at the moment, we'll go back to watch those ones.
No, just normal cows.
Yeah. Sophie, for you?
I'm on TikTok and Instagram. It's Sophie_Bell with 2 more underscores.
Oh, very good. Sophie, Fin, thank you so much for joining us today, but thanks for what you do. It's so important, and it isn't until you probably go away and experience, other countries that you come back with a massive grow for what we do, and that you're right, we don't shout about it enough, but just on the kind of consumer side of it, just wanted to say thanks very much. You've always set an incredible bar, and continued success as you transition into taking it on to a great place. You should be very proud of what you do. And thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
That's it for this episode of Under Construction with thanks to Chadwicks. A massive thank you to you for listening. Also to our fantastic guests. If you'd like to subscribe or follow, we'd really appreciate it. Or you can hit the like button. See you next time.